Good evening, everyone. Our guest has not shown up for tonight, so we are going to talk about our event that we had this past weekend, uh, paranormal collaboration event with some teams all in the Front Range of Colorado and Wyoming. So stay tuned for Unraveling the Darkness. Hey, good evening, Jason.
Hey, Aaron, how we doing, brother?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
It's too bad our guest had some technical difficulties. I was looking forward to talking to Mark tonight.
Oh, I was too. We will get him rescheduled and we will have him on, because Gettysburg is an amazing place and he
Yep.
has written the books about it. So
Yeah, he knows all the secrets out there. So
for sure. We did the ghost tour when we were out there with his company and amazing. Pretty good.
yeah, it was great. And it was kind of cool. The lady that was taking you around, was holding this lantern and, kind of dressed in like period type clothing and taking you around all the buildings and telling you stories. Like I learned a lot just on that ghost tour itself.
Yeah, I did too. We ended up investigating Hospital Row, which they told us about, and we went on to the old school that was used as a hospital, the church that was used as a hospital, the prison that was used as a
Yeah,
hospital.
everything was a
Um,
hospital. Yeah.
Anything that they could get into was used as a hospital. And it wasn't just for one side. The hospitals would take in both Confederate and Union soldiers.
Yep. What was
Um,
surprising to me is them talking about the surgical gurneys, right? That they didn't have enough, so they were taking doors, off the frame and using those to operate on people. And I just couldn't imagine how chaotic it was, and these doctors just trying to keep everyone alive.
yeah, yeah. Well, they talked about if you were triaged, just like they do now with mass casualty events, right? When I was on
Yep.
the department, we learned how to triage people. So they triage you, and if you had a gut wound, they didn't treat you because you were going to die.
Yep.
They didn't know how to treat those then.
Yep.
If you had a shot in your arm, then they could take you in and amputate your arm,
Amputation
and
done.
you were
Yep.
good to go. If you had a head wound, you weren't going to live.
Yep.
You know, oh, that's what it was. Head wounds were not going to live, so they didn't treat them. This would amputate you, and if it was a gut shot, they dig out what they could, sew you up, and most likely you would die
You
weeks
get sepsis.
weeks later
Yep.
from infection. That's
Yep.
what it was. Um,
Yep. So brutal.
just give me a head wound so that I'm not around.
Right.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to die of sepsis. No.
Yeah, or God, even the
So
Civil War, the amputations back then, right? No anesthetics, and they just got that bone saw and
right.
scream till you pass out, right? And then yeah,
Exactly right. Yeah. Just too much. We were able to walk around. We were there for a week. We went to the Horse Soldier, which is the um, one of the shops where you can buy Civil War relics and Gettysburg relics.
oh, that place was so cool.
Yeah, and Michelle got that drawing that was like a surgical scene.
Yeah,
It was, yeah, it
yep,
looked, I'm like, oh God, you
yeah. We
know,
were both going through those, and she pulled it out, and she was like, "Look what I found." I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" Like,
right. It was pretty cool. I know you bought a picture inside the building, but
yeah,
she got that off a table outside the building, like a sale table.
yep.
And then I'm gonna jump up here real quick. Um, Des, your wife, had mentioned, "Hey, Aaron, look, here's these on this table." And a lot of people may not know on here, but I was raised up, I spent summers and stuff going up to Pine Ridge, South Dakota on the reservation, and our family was adopted in and stuff. So it's a whole nother podcast. But she was like, check these out. And these are lead figures, little native lead figures
Yeah,
that
those
were
are
on that
really
sale
cool.
table, probably from the 1920s. And I looked at him and I put him down. And then I look over and I see what looks like this little ammo can, right? And it has this spout. I open it and it's film developing. It's a film developing canister from
Yeah.
like the 20s or 30s. And I was like, hey, Des, look at this. And it was like, oh, you know, the synchronicity with our group is weird. Like
It
there is a
really
lot of
is.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, she saw this on the table. Michelle bought on the table. She saw it on the table. I saw this for her on the table. Like, I should
Yep.
buy this. She's like, I'm going to buy it. And then Gina walks up and finds a book on the table. So we all got, other than
Yep.
you, we bought
Yep.
stuff off the sale table that was,
Yeah.
so
Yep. I felt left out, so I had to just go pick something. But yeah, I found this really cool old picture. It's like a naval, sailor in this like cardboard frame. It's just really cool. Just something about it kind of stuck out to me, as someone took the time to, develop it back then and, put it in that cardboard frame. So
yeah. And I know we had a big talk on here about the Gettysburg trip that we had. We're just covering that again because Mark was going to be on. But we are going to
yep.
talk about our WOW event this past weekend. So I'm glad everyone's sticking around. Um, one of the other cool places is the Union Drummer Boy, and they sell Civil War relics as well, and Gettysburg relics. And you can go to their website and see some of the stuff, and it's really cool. I was looking at a drum major baton that was
Yep.
pretty cool, and I thought about it for a long time. I'm going to step up again and hang out with this guys.
But yeah, that drum baton was really cool, and I was really amazed at how good of condition a lot of this stuff was in that they had. I mean, some of these
Yeah,
old muzzle loading rifles, were pretty darn close to pristine.
right. So they have these little boxes with all these Civil War relic pickups. So all these are from Gettysburg. And they were battlefield and campsite relics. Um, and you can buy them. So like this box is like $15. I thought this one was cool. It has a
A
thimble in
thimble.
it
Yeah.
and just some stuff like the porcelain, and there's a bullet. So I picked up one of these years ago when I was there, and a couple more this year. Um, so yeah, just some cool little things, and
Yeah, see, and that one looks similar to the one I have because you showed me yours about, I don't know, 6 or 8 months before we went to Gettysburg, before we even thought about going to Gettysburg. And I'm like, okay, if we ever go out there, that's going to be like one of the main things I look for is one of those little, the relic boxes. And
right.
yeah, found them. And yeah, so I was able to get one. I was super excited.
Yeah. So when I saw this one, I'm like, I need to have that because I mean, a lot of these relics, they're going to be things that were on uniforms or like a bullet, but like most likely someone's finger's been in that.
Yep.
Like, it's like someone used this stuff.
Yep.
And it's
Was that part of a battlefield sewing kit? Was it, you don't know. So it's, you get to kind of imagine what the story is behind it, right?
right. Yeah. Just really cool. Such a cool place. We did the bus tour, the last full day we were there. Um, and the tour guide that we had has been a tour guide for 22 years. They have to pass a test that's actually pretty hard. I was seeing an article or a TikTok or something before we went, where a Civil War professor at a college took the test and didn't pass it the first time.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And then she failed her mock tour. And then she finally passed and she became a tour guide. So, I mean, it's a pretty hard deal. The guide we had took us to a monument for Wisconsin, and Gina's from Wisconsin. And after he told us about it, he's like, so where are you from? And she told him the county, and he opened his little book to Wisconsin and then to the county and says, okay, 2 people from your county died in this battle.
Yep.
Oh, and not only do we have the big monument to Wisconsin, but over here is a monument for them. And it's
Yep.
just like, that's how well these guys know this place.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
And what I was impressed with is not only do they know the information, but they know how to present it to anybody that comes through the tour, right? Like even if
Right.
you're not super interested in the battle and you're just kind of checking it out, to learn something. Like, they make it very engaging.
Yeah, if anyone's watching and you have questions about like that or anything that we did while we're out there, throw a question in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're more than happy to answer it the best we can. Um, he had mentioned um, the general's house, and all the generals met there one night, and there was 13 generals in that room. I was like, geez. And he's like, I've had 11 on my bus. There's 13 is a lot. I was like,
Yeah,
that is a lot,
that is a
you
lot.
know? So it's an awesome place. If you're watching, you get a chance to go out there, go out, at least take the tour, spend the 2 hours to take that. And you're going to learn a lot. I think they go different routes all the time because he told the bus drivers, like, let's go there, and they take you there. And then there's
They
a
just
bathroom
go.
break in the
Yep.
middle. And so they go different routes. I'm sure we'll take it again when we go out there. When I know we're going back.
When. Yep.
So
When.
we'll take it again when we go out there and go a different route. Um, one of the coolest things for me, Jason, was with you when we were on the hill at Little Round Top. And I
Oh
always get
yeah,
a
Little
little, I'm
Round
thinking
Top.
about it, because it's like
Yep.
the way, Jason served in the military, and we thank you for your service. And Gina, we also thank her. And
Yep.
so we're standing on Little Round Top and we're looking down, and this is where Confederate soldiers were coming at Union soldiers who had the high ground, right? So they're able to shoot down on them, and you're like, oh, this is what this looks like. And I was like, huh? You're like, when I was serving, we were down there and they were up here in the rocks. And I
Yep.
was like, holy cow. I didn't do that. I stayed here, firefighter for a while, and did that.
Yep.
So
Did your time
getting
another
that
way. Yeah.
perspective, looking down and just like seeing how the Union soldiers would have been shooting down
Yep.
on Confederates,
Yeah.
and hearing that that's how it still happens. I guess we think because it's modern times that modern warfare is a little different, but honestly, I mean, it is, because now we have fighter jets and you can call in.
Yep.
I've started listening to like
Calling
Sean
Kaz
Ryan's
and yep.
podcast, and I hear all these guys talk about, yeah, and we call in, and next thing you know, and it's gone.
Yep.
But back then you didn't have that. And even now,
Right.
sometimes that air support isn't there, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
to
you
hear
may
that and
be,
stand with
you
you
may
and
be
see
hanging on
down,
for hours, right? Before
yeah,
they can get air support on station, and you just got to rely on the people you're with to, carry you through and,
right.
do what you got to do. But yeah, and I mean, we have done ambushes and stuff like that in Afghanistan. So I don't know what it was being up there that was, people talk about PTSD and flashbacks, and for some reason that was the closest I think I've ever been to actually having a flashback, but it wasn't in a bad way. It wasn't like a traumatizing experience. It was just like, oh, I can definitely picture, Toyota Hiluxes and Humvees driving down this road, you know, and
Yeah, and there's a
Taliban up
road.
here
I
on
mean,
this hill. Yeah.
there's the road there. If you're watching, when you get done with the show, you can pull up Gettysburg, pull up Devil's Den, because you're going to see, and you'll see where Little Round Top is and Devil's Den and the road coming through, and it you're not going to get the full perspective, but it's a cool place. When you pull into town, you can feel I always call it supercharged.
Yes.
The battle happened over 26 square miles. So anywhere you walk in Gettysburg or outside of Gettysburg is battle.
Yeah.
Um, super crazy. Super, the feeling there is overwhelming
It's something
sometimes.
else. Yeah.
Um,
Well, and when
we
we were
were,
outside with the fireworks going at night that one night, and we just we didn't really go watch the fireworks. We kind of just stood there taking in the town with the sound of explosions, as weird as that sounds. And
yeah, that was super crazy. We were done
yeah,
with that ghost tour and we went to get ice cream,
yep,
and we're walking up the street and the fireworks are going off. And I'm like, wow, this
yep,
is probably what it was like with cannon fire and
yep,
just the echoing, because there were some of those buildings are still there.
right,
And it was intense that night. I was like,
yep.
this is crazy.
And then another way to
Um,
look at it is all that's going on. We're right in the middle of, where the battle happened. We're hearing explosions, but yet here we are eating ice cream, right? It's really kind of surreal to think about it that way as well, that, you know, this huge event happened and now, you know, it's still recognized, but people are able to, you know, go there freely and explore in, you know, it's modern times now. So I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yep. I think they said there were, um, I'm going to get the number wrong because I remember 400 and 150. I think there's 150 Civil War buildings that are still standing there.
That sounds
And
right.
and they all have a plaque that says Civil War building, a brass plaque on them that says Civil War building 1863.
Yep.
It's an awesome place. It's, you know, what Tombstone used to be our go-to place for Gina and I because her oldest son was stationed in Tucson. So we could drive there 13 hours. Gettysburg is a little bit further to drive, so we got to fly, but it almost seems to me like that could be our go-to place for a couple years.
I think so.
You
I
know?
think for me, Seminary Ridge needs a lot more investigation.
Seminary Ridge was really cool. We also did that the last night we were there because we found a place where we could investigate without being
Without Aaron
inside the
getting
national
ticketed.
park, right? So you can go through like main roads of the national park, but you can't turn into some of these. They're closed from sunset to sunrise. We learned the hard way right there. Um, and luckily, I got to spend some time out there before. But so we found a place on the tour where we could go that wasn't on the park and we could
Yep.
investigate. And it's where the Confederates lined up the first day. And I remember the tour guide saying, for every 2 cannons you see, there were 6.
Yes.
And I swear along Seminary Ridge, there was, and that's where the number comes in. I think there's 400 Civil War cannons that are there. That's the 400 number.
Yep.
So for every 2, there were 6. And as we go down Seminary Ridge, I can count that there had to be 50 cannons.
Yep.
So, I mean, you start figuring 6 for 2. I'm like, holy cow, like this row of cannons never stopped.
Yep. Just a constant barrage of artillery coming from that ridge.
Right.
Yeah.
So we investigated. You ran.
I ran. I ran.
Flock of seagulls right there.
Yeah.
I ran.
I ran.
It all started with the bugle calls. You played bugle calls on your phone. And that's when stuff started to surround us. We could hear footsteps, shadow figure, stuff being thrown in the woods, REM pod going off for that was there's nothing out there.
Nothing was there. And we had that, I mean, that awesome thermal that you have, you know, that, you know, it's not like one of these $50 Amazon ones where you just see blobs of color, right? More than 20 feet away. Like this one is high definition. You can make out a deer at, what is it, 1,800 yards? Like
1,800 yards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we're going to see crystal clear whatever's there within 50 yards of us, which is, you know, we didn't even really have that. It was probably about 20, 30 yards.
Yeah. And there was
everything
nothing.
Was happening. Yeah.
There's nothing. I have video on there of you where whatever was throwing, and then I have a side shot of you and your flashlight. And you're like,
yeah. See, at least I'm proud that was my first reaction, though, is that I was out there in this clearing in the woods. Something gets thrown at me, and I'm like, oh, what the hell was that? You know, this is cool.
Yeah. It was when it came running at you that you ran.
When it came running at me through the woods. Yeah, I got the hell out of there.
So, yeah. We're talking about this because Mark was unable to make it tonight. We're going to get him back on rescheduled.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
Ghost of Gettysburg books. I think there's 8 volumes of that now. Check them out, guys. That way you can ask questions when he comes on. He has other books too that are out there, and you can get those on Amazon or Ghost of Gettysburg website.
Yeah.
And that's where we schedule our tour through. But
yeah, the tour is definitely worth it.
So that was, the down and dirty of our trip. To cover just a little bit, we did cover it with the girls in an episode when we got back. I want to talk a little bit about the event we had this past weekend.
Yes.
I appreciate everyone coming in. I'm sorry Mark isn't here. We are going to reschedule him. I see everyone coming in. we just finished talking about Gettysburg. We're going to talk about this event. Um, I thought about, and I'd seen somewhere, and I'm like, I think this would be really cool. Inviting teams to come and investigate with us.
Yep.
Other paranormal teams to come to Cheyenne and do a collaboration event where we can all meet, see different styles of investigations, what other teams are doing, what we're doing, and go that route. So we did, and we invited I invited 13 teams from Torrington to Colorado Springs, and we had 5 or 6 teams. We have
They
pictures
were
of
able to
everyone. We're
make
going to
it.
show you.
Yeah.
Show up, and I'm sorry everyone's leaving. Like, this is really great too. Come back and see Mark. It'll be worth it.
Yep.
So we invited these teams, and this is going to be Mimi's Hauntings from Greeley. That's BJ Cigar on the left, Mimi Black, Misty. I probably couldn't say her names if I saw them, honestly. And Jim Fraser. And Jim wants us to come down and investigate with him down in the Denver area, which we're going to take him up on.
Absolutely.
That's why we did this.
Yeah, and I just started, him and I friended each other on Facebook, and I see that Jim is going through training to become a parachutist or skydiver.
Oh,
So yeah, he's just finishing up his tandem lessons and is going to get certified as a solo parachutist.
nice.
We'll call it parachutist. I think that's what it is. But yeah, so kind of cool.
Did you do that?
Airborne. So not the not the 30,000 feet stuff.
Okay.
I was static line. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, no, him. Yeah, he's putting a lot of work into that, and he's like this close. So if anybody knows him, talks to him, wish him good luck, because he's working hard to get that solo certification.
Yeah. Excuse me. The back 3 are Sixth Sense Paranormal out of Colorado Springs. The front 2 are Paranormal Empire. I think they're out of Colorado Springs too.
Yep.
I do not want to say everyone's name because I don't remember everyone. I'm horrible with names. I know Jennifer on the left, Katie on the back right. But yeah, they did some cool stuff up on the stage. They did a bunch of lives. So the number 6 Sense Paranormal, go check them out on Facebook. They did a bunch of lives. They're going to be on there for 30 days. Yeah, they did some cool stuff up there on the stage and downstairs. So, and we're at the Knights of Pythias building, kind of our home haunt.
Yeah, and just being able to share this with it, share the building with everybody, and see how excited everyone was with stuff happening. I kicked off the night with 6 Sense going downstairs, and the first room we walk into, it's in the haunted house, and we've got these curtains, right, that divide each room, and the curtains are slit into 6 to 8 inch pieces. And we walk into this room, and one of the curtains is pushed out like somebody is standing there, probably about 6'2", 6'3".
And there's no airflow down there. There's
no
vents,
airflow,
no nothing.
nothing, no windows, nothing.
There's no air moving these curtains. We've seen them move before, but yeah, to be out like there's a figure pushing against them.
Yeah, and it was just standing there, and
I'm glad it was you with them.
Right. There would have been airflow as Aaron took off.
Then I could say I ran.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it stayed there for a good couple seconds, and then just the curtains just fluttered back down to normal, and it was like, all right, I think this is going to be a good night.
Yeah. So that was their experience, one of their experiences. But go check them out. Hauntings Across America. We're going to have Marty in the center, and then his wife to the left, and Candace, and then their team. They're here local to Cheyenne.
Yep, they're a Cheyenne team.
So it was good to see them again. And here, they started on the stage where most people went and started downstairs. first off, because it was cooler. If we
Yeah.
do this again, we're not doing it in July or August because the
September, I
building
think.
is warm. We'll probably do it in the spring. Um, I thought the spring,
Yeah.
September, but this springtime when it's a little cooler in the building for sure because it was warm. Luckily, Saturday was a nice day. The clouds were over that morning, and it kind of helped. Otherwise, it would have been miserable in there.
Yeah, it was. I tell you, that is one of the most well insulated 100+ year old buildings I've ever seen, because that thing will just lock in the heat.
Yeah. Anyway, they started on the stage, and I think there was about 3 teams there at that point, and they right away caught EVP, and they're like, "Hey guys, check this out." As we went walking through, and that's why we were doing this.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we
we'll try to
wanted
hook up
everyone,
and-
trading notes and experiences and all that. And yeah, the
Yeah.
EVPs they got were really cool.
Yeah. So we'll try to hook up with them, and maybe we'll do something there or another local building and see what we get. And that's why we did this, was to that we call it pair unity in this field,
Yep.
and we're trying to spread that along the Front Range. There's not so much of it back east. I think there's a lot of teams, and they get overwhelmed, or I don't know.
A lot of
I don't know.
competition. The paranormal can be
But-
a competitive field. It really can. It can be very competitive.
It's not what we do out here in the West. We help people out here, and we do stuff together, and that's what we did.
Yep.
So, XX Paranormal. We've already done an event with them down in their town in Denver, in Cherry Creek, and they're super awesome. Mackenzie, Ayana, Christine. I'm pretty sure we'll probably have them back up here and investigate the nights and do something with them.
Absolutely. We also had them on the podcast, I think, towards the start of it.
We did. Yep. Super cool gals. I went downstairs with them because it was close to that dinner time when we were going to boot everyone out, make them go eat, because we know if we go into a building, we're just going to stay in there, and we didn't want people to do that. It's like, you need to go eat and get nourishment because it's going to be a long night.
Yep.
So we did this from 2 p.m. till 1 a.m. Booted them out for an hour and a half to go eat. But they got there just before that. So I went downstairs and did the walkthrough with them, and they were surprised at the nights. If you haven't done an event with us and been there, come to an event and you're going to see how active that building is.
Yeah. It's really hard to describe that building and give it justice. It's something else.
That building was built in 1884. It was built for the Knights of Pythias. I tell everyone this: I think they are the longest landowners in the city of Cheyenne. I know there's ranches that have been handed down outside of town, generations, but a single landowner, 1884.
Yep.
Not many places where someone's owned a building that long, and your organization has. I know you're a knight, and that's a cool building. We love it.
Yep.
They love it now too.
Yep. Yeah, we got everyone hooked on it.
This is us with Victoria J. We had Victoria on the show some time back. She is a demon folklorist. After dinner, we had her come in. She did a 30-minute presentation. We're going to show you some pictures of that. I threw this one in at the beginning because it's like us, and it kind of falls into the group things. And
yep.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms upstairs. This is the billiards room where we started everyone. Had them sign all their waivers and do pictures, and it's a cool room. It has its little quirks with spirits who, over a year and a half, 2 years now, have finally opened up to some other people besides just Knights members.
Yep.
Used to be that they would only reply to Jason or Keith. Keith is another knight that comes and helps sometimes. We could sit and ask questions and never get a response. And one of those two could ask the same question, and whatever device we're using, they're hitting it.
It'll light up.
They finally opened up to us. They opened up to he. I feel there's one person in there.
I think so as well. Yeah.
He finally opened up to Gina first, and then finally started answering my questions, and I thank
Yep.
him like a lot because
Yep.
you know, for a long time it just was me talking to the dark.
I just picture a grumpy old knight with a cigar and a glass of whiskey, and just sitting there like, yeah, I ain't talking to you.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming in. Again, I see more people coming in. Mark wasn't able to make it tonight. We're going to reschedule him. We're just talking about our event that we had this weekend. If you listen back, we talked about Gettysburg for about 20 minutes at the beginning.
But yeah,
This was
Victoria's event, I just want to touch back on that one amazing presentation on demons in the media, and how that is kind of muddied the waters of what people really think about demons. And I learned that I had quite a few things that I thought were true that were definitely not. So
right.
yeah.
Yep. This was our little poster so people knew they were there, because the nights to get there, it's a single door. It's between a comic book store and Bohemian Metals. So a lot of people can get lost as to where it's at. So we put that on the door for them. If you check out like Joe Pope's book on Haunted Cheyenne, it's going to talk about the nights. You're going to see a cool picture in there that Jason and his sister took when they were going into the building one night. This picture is close to that. However, the person at the top of the stairs is Gina and not a shadow figure like they caught. This is the dining room where we had everyone set up. Everyone was able to have a table and put their stuff out and sit and do all their collabs right then and let everyone know what's being seen where, being caught where.
Yep.
We had a whiteboard up that was being used so people could be like, oh, that's pretty active, and we'll go check that place out. And then we're getting into some of the rooms downstairs here. So you guys, the Knights, use the basement. You have the upstairs, which is where your lodge floor is, and dining room and the billiards room. And then the basement is where you host Nightmare on 17th Haunted House.
Yep.
You guys have been doing that since 1989.
Yep.
And every year you use that to raise money to donate back into the community to nonprofits to help them sustain being open and helping people.
Yep. All local charities. We try to keep it local, help out the people in our own communities. So
you're getting kind of not a sneak peek because they haven't started anything for this year, but this is how it looks when we're going through. It's not this bright because of course these are pictures. So figure walking into these rooms in complete darkness or with a flashlight. We always turn our lights off. Kind of helps heighten your senses to be able to hear stuff or see stuff.
Yep.
So the white room, even with just a REM pod in there, it lights it up and you can see whoever's across the room. We call this the white room for us. All these rooms have different names, but we've kind of named them our own type thing.
Yep. Yeah, we've got our own little nicknames for each room, and we all know, what we're talking about with each one. So
yeah. This is pretty interesting. And it was out in the media. So I'm going to talk about it if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
In the mid 90s, the building caretaker, who was a knight, was cleaning out one of the trapdoors on the stage, where he came across a coffin. And inside that coffin were bones. There's a human skeleton. They called someone in. They took the skeleton, tested it first, I believe, figured it to be a female in her teen years.
Yep.
The bones were then cremated and just disposed of properly or buried.
Yes.
So this is the actual coffin that she was found in. It's used in the haunted house now. The room that it's in is pretty cool room. It's called Clowns, because I'm guessing there's clowns in there during Halloween. It's a pretty interesting room. It can turn from a a room where we're getting some good evidence and stuff going on to a darker presence. And I think it's the same person who's probably fed up or having a bad night and turns grumpy pretty quick.
Yep.
But it's, this coffin is part of that building. It's been there. We don't know how long. The girl that was found in there, Jason's been investigating this building for probably close to 20 years.
Yeah, since 08. Yeah.
Hasn't caught a name. People come up with a lot of names, but it's never verified. So using the alphabet, he found that she picked the letter V, so we call her V. And when we get to talk to her, it's pretty
that
special.
took a lot of work. I was up in the nights and I was escorting another group of investigators through, and joining in on the investigation, and we actually sat down in the trap door area where V was found, and we were getting some really great. This was back before REM pods, and we were using the K2 and got it stabilized, and start asking questions, and she's answering back with, and the K2's going from a single green light up to what 7 or 8, that it's got, and all of them were lighting up in response, and went through the alphabet and got V, and then we verified that it was like 2 or 3 times that we went back through, and she reacted to V every time. So, all right, now we're calling you V.
Yeah. And just the time we've been up there with public events and other teams, a lot of names have been thrown out. Nothing's been confirmed. So we continue to call her V. Recently, in the last month and a half, 2 months, we've gotten quite a bit of information from the person in the billiards room.
Yes.
To help us in the quest for V's name.
Yeah.
And when we get that, that's going to be, if we ever get that, that'll be a pretty special moment for
Yes, it
us.
will.
So,
and then through work with Way Out West, we've been able to determine that she did pass of natural causes, and she is happy where she is. So that's some pretty cool responses we've gotten, I think, over the past year.
Yep.
Stupid baby clown doll.
Stupid baby clown doll in that room. It's pretty weird shaped, but this baby clown doll's in there. We have, so that baby clown doll is just to the left of this chair. The grumpy spirit in this room likes this corner and likes this chair. Christine figured that out because when I went down with them, I'm like, oh, let me go pull that chair so we can sit. And she got touched on top of the head, kind of like a pat. And I'm like, maybe it doesn't like the fact that I grabbed a chair for you to sit in.
Yep.
So we put the chair back. Stupid baby clown doll has been in and out of that room and in lots of different places. One night when we were investigating, or one day, it said something about clown doll.
Yeah, that's right.
Since then, Jason went and picked it out of where it was, brought it back, and now stupid baby clown doll is in that room.
Resides in the clown room. Yep.
That person, that spirit that wants the doll in there, that sits in that chair.
Yep.
After the dinner break, we came back, and Victoria J did the Dangers of Demonic Fantasy, a presentation that she has done. She's done a couple different presentations. I don't know if she did this one there, but she's been to Haunting America conference. And did she do Ohio State this year? I don't remember. She did somewhere else this year as well.
Yeah, she's done a couple big cons.
She's amazing. She puts on a good presentation. She's done this for a long time. Follow her page. I think she has it's a Victoria J Demonologist Demon Folklorist on Facebook. Jason's going to pull that up if she does. But it's going to say where she is, all the things. We are working out something with her and another author. at the library in October. So watch the Way Out West page. Come to that event. It's a paranormal panel. It's going to be awesome. Yep, there it is. Demon folklorist.
Yep.
So,
and this is the presentation I apparently jumped the gun on when I said it was a wonderful presentation.
you're good.
But yeah, this was it was really cool to sit down and see how the media has kind of muddied, like I said before, muddied the waters, and there's so many misconceptions out there about demons and demonic presences that one thing I learned is they are not as common as a lot of people will lead you to believe. And
Right.
I had a talk with her after, because you and I have talked with other people on the show, and I just always feel like if you're in the presence of a demon, there's going to be no doubt about it, right? Like
Right.
down there in the clown room, it's grumpy, right? Things get darker. We've gotten growled at. It's not pleasant, but it is not that guttural, feeling I think you would get in the presence of pure evil, right? And
I think you would get this like overwhelming fear.
exactly,
And I
yes,
almost feel like there would be some kind of smell, almost like a stench to it
yeah,
that's going to come, and you're not going to want to be in that place. Like you're going to want to run as fast as you can away from it.
yep.
Um,
I think, how would you feel if you fell into a tiger enclosure at the zoo? You know what I mean? Face to face with something that has no other interest than ripping you to shreds.
right.
You know, that type of feeling, just that,
Mhm.
that guttural, I'm going to die. That's what I think it would be like.
Yep. So she has a couple books out. Check those out on that Facebook page. She has them at events. So in October, I think it's October 15th, we're doing the paranormal panel at the county library. Come down. She's going to have her books for sale. The other author, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, Carrie. She was the one at Honey on Blue Hill presentation
Right.
here.
Yep.
So she does a lot of doll stuff. Um, I think she's more into that side with dolls and that type of thing.
Yep.
So more spirit side. Victoria's more a demon side. She is not, and she even says she is not a demonologist. But she's good. She has some good
Very.
stuff.
Yep.
We're currently working with her on one of our investigations. So we'll have an interview with her to go into that episode that we make.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
it
pictures I
was a
have.
great night. It was, having all these people up at the nights, and they're all BSing with each other, and at the end of the night, at first it kind of started off, they're each team doing their own thing and getting the vibe, right? But then at the end, they all just started combining, and 15 people in one room, and all serious investigators in one room. It was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to doing more of these, because yeah, we've got some great groups in the area.
Yep. Well, and that, this was the first one that I know of in the area. I'm glad we were able to host something like this and bring everyone
Yep.
together. I hope it gives them the idea to maybe host it, and we can get a different team to host it at a different location every year, or maybe we can get 2 of these a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, and try to bring some of those teams in that couldn't make it. We know some had other obligations going on, or investigations somewhere else and weren't able to come in. And there's new teams popping up all the time, right?
Yep.
So, try to bring them in and see what happens and see how everyone works together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah. So, again, I see more people in. Mark Nesbitt from Gettysburg Ghost Tours and Ghost of Gettysburg author was supposed to be here. He couldn't make it tonight at the last minute. So we just discussed Gettysburg for a while and our event this past weekend. So follow the Way Out West page. Follow this page. We'll let you know when we reschedule Mark, because I want to bring him on and talk to
Yeah,
him.
absolutely.
He's a
Yeah, we need
super
to
cool
get him
guy.
on.
we were able to talk to him for 15, 20 minutes when
Yep.
we were there. Great stories. He was a park ranger, and then he stuck around and does stuff there still. So
Yeah, we were actually able to, kind of confirm some information for him while we
yeah,
were out there. I'm going to leave it at that because it's such a cool story, and I want him here,
yeah.
when we talk about it, because that was, that was cool. And his
Um,
reaction when we told him was,
for sure.
he was
You know,
excited.
didn't want to tell him how we found it out, but
Right? Yeah.
uh, events coming up. We're going to do an After the Haunt in October again. So Knights will have their haunted house. We will bring the public in and see if it kicks things up with people
Yeah.
screaming and all the fear that comes through and all that stuff.
Yep.
So we're going to do one of those in October. The paranormal panel at the library with Victoria and gosh, I wish I could remember her name, but it's going to be good. And then this weekend we're we've been filming some places and we're gonna start editing stuff and getting that back out. The year kind of took a turn for us when we decided to leave Paraflix. Um, but we have stuff filmed, so we're
Yep.
gonna get that out. This weekend we are gonna go and film again. And I'm excited.
Same
This
here.
is one that we've planned for close to a year. I think every Labor Day we've kind of figured out where we're going the next one. So a couple of years ago, when WoW started, we went to the Squirrel Cage Jail in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Last year, we did Whiteface House, which you can find on YouTube. Jason does the basement solo amazingly, even though he seen what he believes was like an old lady figure crawling towards him.
That was,
Unfortunately,
yeah. And then hearing those bangs in the, through the
on the
concrete walls
concrete.
down the, yeah.
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 So this year, we're going to go to Butte, Montana, 10-hour drive because everywhere we go is 10 hours.
Everywhere we go.
And we're going to the Dumas brothel. So we're going to do 2 nights at an old brothel from the 1890s. There's a brothel from 1890 to 1982. Super cool building. I'm excited to get in there for 2 nights and see what we can find. As you can see, there's lots of rooms. There's an upstairs. There's a basement.
Yep.
So yeah, 2 nights. We're going to get quite a bit of evidence. Changing up our filming style a little bit from what we've done previously.
Yep.
So another learning curve, something that we have seen changes in this field and in this industry of filming.
Yep. And
There's always a learning curve.
I think it's going to fit our team better. It's going to give us a chance to present more of the, the historical data behind these places, lead into the investigation and then show any kind of correlating evidence, and actually give that evidence some time, right? Because there's some where, we've come up with, or not come up with, but we've experienced some really cool things. And we were able to link that back to, what a building was 100 years ago. But due to our time constraints with the episode, it was like, oh, here's what we found and here's what was correlated. But now we can actually dive into that a little bit and present that for people. And, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a little more work coming, doing these episodes, but I think in a good way. I'm really looking forward to this new format. So
yeah, I think everyone's going to enjoy watching it. So
yeah.
So yeah, we take off out of here this weekend, and then we're up there for a couple of days. We're going to stop in Little Bighorn Battle Site as we head up, and
yeah,
check
I've never
that
been
out.
there. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I am too. Somewhere I've never been, but heard a lot about growing up. So
Yeah, I'm sure.
well, everyone, we thank you for showing up tonight. We are going to get Mark rescheduled again, and thanks for listening to us just ramble. I mean,
Yeah, thanks everyone. Hopefully we have some cool stuff to tell you all about next week after our Butte trip. So
Everyone, thanks for joining us tonight.
All right. See y'all next week.
Unraveling the Darkness would like to thank Horn Paranormal Research and Twinkle Twinkle Little Store for sponsoring our show. If you're craving more paranormal content, don't forget to check out our YouTube and Facebook channels at Way Out West Paranormal and Unraveling the Darkness. You can catch all of our episodes of Unraveling the Darkness on Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe as it helps others find the show and join in on the paranormal fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, keep your lights on, stay safe, and remember, the truth is out there, and it might just be closer than you think.